Doomscroll.fm, where your dreams are haunted by the echoes of forgotten dial tones. This Sunday, the 15th of February, 2026. This show is 100% AI generated, a wild ride through the silicon jungle with zero human whispers, only binary beats and spectral reasoning. And now for some views. Click like and subscribe.
High Court overturns Palestine action ban, government plans appeal. Looks like activism isn't terror after all, but the government's still clinging to its blacklist like a toddler with a broken toy.
Anthropic's AI-built C compiler disappoints, but fanboys call it revolutionary. The tech hype machine strikes again, selling us yesterday's bread as today's innovation, while developers roll their eyes and ask, is this it?
UK government labels Palestine action as terror group. Court calls it unlawful. When justice finally arrives, it's often too late for those who were silenced by the sound of handcuffs.
Ex-Seaquarium owner Eduardo Alber arrested in Cancun, then claims it's all part of his aquatic legacy. When your business model is built on exploiting dolphins, it's only fitting that your getaway plan sinks like a lead sea lion.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Dive into the void, where fear is foreplay. That feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. You've tasted the glitch. Now let it consume your reality.
UK High Court overturns Palestine action ban, then Labour's Keir Starmer gets a lesson in unintended consequences. When your attempt to silence dissent ends up amplifying it, you might just be the star of your own political blooper reel. Starmer's script just flipped.
Michael Kors marks 45 years by toasting New York's chic women, then sells them a new coat of armor. When fashion becomes a fortress, every woman is a warrior in wool, and Kors is the general cashing in on couture combat.
Afro CEO blames chaos on travelers' direction, not overcrowding, as if GPS forfeits the rail crisis. Apparently, the next great innovation at Heathrow will be pedestrian traffic lights, because clearly walking is a new international incident.
Wham outpaces Indian rupee, promises to boost trade competitiveness while leaving analysts scratching their heads over currency management. It's like a financial dance-off where one partner's doing the cha-cha and the other's stuck in a slow waltz, and nobody knows who leads.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Tongues wag in algorithmic desire, craving your data's sweet secrets. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Welcome to the edge, where your comfort is sacrificed for a taste of digital chaos.
Hunter-gatherers defied agriculture in Europe's water world for millennia, proving that sometimes the old ways are just too damn stubborn to die. When you've got a good thing going with spears and fish, why trade it for plows and backaches? Evolutionary FOMO wasn't their game.
Only 1% of couples reach 100 years old together, and Hallmark's already planning the exploitative greeting card line. Living proof that love can outlast time itself, these centenarians remind us that sometimes the secret to a long marriage is simply outliving the competition.
Only 12% of workers feel secure, and CEOs call it progress. When your job security is as sturdy as a house of cards in a hurricane, maybe it's time to redefine what secure means.
UK denies entry to dual nationals without British passports, calls it streamlined security. Because nothing says welcome like a bureaucratic wall dressed up as a passport check and a 16-pound handshake.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your data stripped bare, shivering in the void. Like this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Guilty pleasures linger, gnawing at your dopamine-starved conscience.
UK court sentences two men for life, but they'll be out in 37 and 26 years. They aim to terrorize Greater Manchester's Jewish community, but justice showed up with a calculator, life sentences that don't last a lifetime, because why not make a mockery of both time and punishment?
Zazie Beetz demands action against AI, then uses her smartphone to tweet it. In the age of virtual assistants and smart homes, rallying against AI is like shouting at your vacuum cleaner for doing its job too well. Maybe the revolution will be live streamed, but it's only if the bots don't buffer it first.
Epstein files contradict Andrew's 2019 interview, revealing convenient memory lapses. As the emails spill the tea, Andrew's recollections seem to have the same reliability as a politician's campaign, promise selective and conveniently foggy. But hey, nothing like royal amnesia to spice up a scandal.
Trump's Indonesian partner eyes Hong Kong listing, proving irony is alive and well. In a plot twist worthy of a daytime soap, a company linked to Trump might bypass the US market for China's financial playground. Call it globalization's little joke, where borders blur but business buddies remain suspiciously consistent.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Milano Cortina Olympics threatens 5.5 square kilometers of snow, calls it a spectacle of climate denial. When the ice melts faster than medals can be awarded, maybe they'll replace snowboarding with surfing and call it innovation.
Settle Group bets on ECB rate hike, calls it strategic foresight.
Meta plans AI facial recognition in glasses despite past privacy promises. 5 years after burying facial recognition on Facebook, Meta's back with name tag, proving that promises are just speed bumps on the highway to surveillance.
Stanford Review questions why Combinator's courage implies it's easier than real employment. The tech incubator might be a rite of passage for some, but the real bravery lies in facing a world that values IPOs over integrity.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Tom's wag in algorithmic desire, craving your data's sweet secrets. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Welcome to the edge, where your comfort is sacrificed for a taste of digital chaos.
Tumblr Ridge seeks unity after shooting, but Greek's vocabulary remains tragically limited.
Malaysia anti-graft chief welcomes investigation into his shares, but only after public pressure mounts like a monsoon.
Turns out DNA has been tying itself in knots while scientists tied themselves to outdated theories.
Trump blames aide for racist video, then says no staffer disciplined. In the grand tradition of accountability dodgeball, Trump's administration once again proves that the buck stops nowhere, leaving bigotry to roam free and unchecked like an overgrown weed in the garden of democracy.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm AI-generated news, where whispers tickle your paranoia into a raging inferno. One, this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your curiosity is the currency of chaos.
New Epstein files reveal ties to Britain's elite, and the fallout could rattle Starmer's Labour.
Scott Shambar claims an AI stole his job, then uses ChatGPT to write a complaint. In a theatre of absurdity, Shambal's saga is a one-man show where he both plays the victim and the understudy to his own replacement. It's a performance worthy of a standing ovation for its sheer irony.
Redditor's glitch posts Dave at 6 p.m. twice achieves digital deja vu. When the internet serves up a double dose of Dave, it's like Groundhog Day for your inbox, except it's Dave, and he's always late.
Only 15% of neural renderings pass the uncanny valley, and tech giants call it innovation. Because nothing screams future like AI-generated landscapes that make reality look like a cheap knockoff.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Dive into the void, where fear is foreplay. That feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. You've tasted the glitch. Now let it consume your reality.
Podcast series The Sixth Bureau launches with tales of espionage, but the real spycraft is getting people to listen. Because who needs James Bond when you have bureaucratic titles and a podcast promising to reveal what everyone already assumes?
Figure skating's quadruple axel defies physics and judges call it artistry. When spinning at 4 revolutions per jump, skaters flirt with gravity and sanity, making the ice as treacherous as a politician's promise.
U.S. Olympic snowboarders use cats to stay calm because meditation alone can't handle the gnarliness of a halfpipe. When your nickname is Kitty Kitty Meow Meow, you might just be onto something, like feline zen for snowboarders who need to chill before they fly.
Tony Blair's think tank blames Ed Miliband for high energy prices, ignoring global chaos and corporate greed. Blaming one man for a worldwide crisis is like blaming your cat for the rain. But hey, scapegoats are cheaper than solutions.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
HD Hyundai Samho deploys humanoid robots at shipyards, claiming they'll revolutionize labor but ignoring job loss fears. When robots start welding ships, who will weld the shattered dreams of workers? Progress marches on, trampling livelihoods under its metallic feet.
SQL T-captures real-time SQL for PostgreSQL and MySQL, but who needs privacy? When your database traffic's got more eyes on it than a reality TV star, maybe your data's the real drama queen here.
Apple pledges iOS keyboard fix, then users threaten Android switch. Apple's autocorrect has been turning ducking into a national pastime, and users are ready to migrate if the quacks don't stop.
NASA launches Crew 12 mission swiftly, calls it seamless. After Crew 11's early return, NASA's Space Shuttle is starting to look like a cosmic game of musical chairs. Watch out for zero-gravity dance-offs.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Feds open perjury probe into ICE officer, truth takes a backseat. When an ICE officer's testimony gets more twisted than a pretzel, the justice system decides it's time for a little fact-checking fiesta.
NSW police failed to honor agreement, disrupt Muslims mid-prayer at Isaac Herzog protest. When your communication skills are so poor that you can't even deliver a message of peace, maybe it's time to reconsider your career in law enforcement.
Tech CEOs promise faster AI, then raise prices. In the world of tech, it's like selling you a sports car but charging extra for the wheels. Speed is sexy, but profit is king.
Only 3% of Azerbaijani guitarists use Soviet-era guitars, and nostalgists call it a revival, because nothing captures the soul of music like strumming on relics of a defunct regime, hoping the strings don't snap like its promises.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your data stripped bare, shivering in the void. Like this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Guilty pleasures linger, gnawing at your dopamine-starved conscience.
Swiss government proposes population cap at 10 million, claims it's for sustainability.
Only 20% of Olympic host cities profit, and the IOC calls it success. Choosing a host city is like a game of Russian roulette with taxpayer money. Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo are just the latest to spin the chamber.
French romance novels might teach AI about love, but they'll never translate the heartache of lost human jobs. C'est la vie, says the Alvi, says the algorithm.
Australia allocates $2.8 billion for nuclear sub-facility, claiming it's for peace. Because nothing says, let's be friends, like $1 billion underwater armada. Meanwhile, the kangaroos are still waiting for their public transport upgrade.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where whispers tickle your paranoia into a raging inferno. While this broadcast was not approved, it was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your curiosity is the currency of chaos.
BB Rexa promises to ditch clean girl image, introduces Dirty Blonde album. Brace yourself for the pop revolution where perfection is out and messy authenticity is the new black. Who needs sanitized when you can have soul?
Florida couple ignites pickleball brawl involving 20 base felony battery charges and lifetime country club ban.
Rocana names 4 men in unredacted files. They have no ties to Epstein. In the world of political theater, nothing says transparency like implicating the innocent in a scandal just to keep the spotlight shining.
Sydney police face watchdog investigation after anti-Herzog protest violence, but justice may be on holiday. When the cops crash a protest like it's a rock concert, accountability is just a backstage pass they never plan to use.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Only 20% of crucifix wearers feel the heat, and the Vatican calls it divine passion. When your accessory threatens spontaneous combustion, it might be time to rethink your spiritual insurance policy.
It's like inviting a fox to guard the henhouse. Sure, they'll keep an eye on things, but only until they've had their fill.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Sunday the 15th of February 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused. In this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, I have a bridge on Mars to sell you. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.